A little bit of a turnaround, Jeremy. Thank you. April, as we have mentioned, is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Once we understand what sexual violence is and the impact it can have, we can work together to prevent it. Kathy Ray with the Crisis Center in Manhattan and Tess Ramirez with Protecting Kansas Children from Sexual Predators are here today to tell us a little bit more so we can all help with that understanding. Welcome to the both of you. And you do really represent the spectrum of who can become victims of sexual violence. So Kathy, you primarily are working with adults.
Yes.
What is sexual violence among adults?
Well, sexual violence can take many forms. We know that about 1 in 3 women and 1 in 5 men are victims of contact sexual violence in their lifetime. So that can be anything from sexual touching, degrading comments that are sexual in nature, all the way to rape and sexual assault, the things that we often think about when we're talking about sexual violence. So really, it can impact anyone, regardless of age, gender, race. It really doesn't have any boundaries, but one of the things that we know about sexual violence is the majority of the perpetrators are known to the victim. So we often have this myth that we need to be afraid of the stranger in the park, those kinds of things. But really, most of predators or the people who perpetrate sexual violence know the victim.
Is this true of children as well? And when we talk about sexual violence among children, what are we talking about?
Yes, absolutely. It mirrors a lot of the adult aspects. However, it is a little bit different in that obviously a child is very vulnerable and they typically get groomed by someone obviously who's much older than them. So like in my instance, I was 14 and I was groomed by my cheerleading coach. Someone my parents knew and trusted, and he seemed like a great guy, but he wasn't, and he was secretly grooming me. So it's people that parents don't even expect their kids to be unsafe with. It's people they like. So it's something that parents need to be really, really on the lookout for, especially if they're seeing changing behaviors from their kids.
And you just threw out a very personal connection there, Tess, just like, because that is what your group is, survivors seeking to support other survivors.
Absolutely.
If you had to even maybe look back now, or when people are looking at children, what might be some warning signs that we might spot? And children, teenagers are still children.
Absolutely, absolutely. So warning signs, changes in behavior, regression, things if an older child starts wetting the bed again, if they start acting not themselves or isolating themselves. So like after I was being abused, I remember just like staring at the floor, refusing to make eye contact with people because I was so ashamed, even though I didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
It was him. But that is one of the big things that our group focuses on is, so like every Friday we post on Facebook, parenting tips, signs to look for. That way we can keep our community safe.
And what about for adults? What might we notice in maybe friends or loved ones that's a sign something wasn't quite right?
Well, I think oftentimes, although there's not the same grooming process, there is sort of this trusting relationship that is built when it's someone who is known to the victim. A lot of times, especially if it is a family member, a close family friend, things like that, those relationships, they take advantage of that. And predators, people who perpetrate sexual violence, often will target people who they perceive as vulnerable. And what that vulnerability is can be a number of things, anything from a disability to intoxication. But they seek out that vulnerability and take advantage of it.
So the big thing is getting help. And I'm going to hold up your signs here because you have a hotline on here. If we
Yes.
notice something, if we need help, or we notice something for a loved one, this is one resource. What is the number,
Absolutely.
text, what do we do?
Yeah, so this is Safeline Kansas. That is the statewide domestic violence and sexual assault helpline. So for anyone in Kansas, whether they're a victim or survivor themselves, or they know someone and would like to get some support, this is the number to call. We also have a text feature, so we know that not everyone wants to make the phone call, but maybe they want to text. Maybe it's safer to text. We have that text feature now available for Safeline Kansas
And
as
I'm going to
well.
put this on WIBW.com after the show as
Perfect.
well. For children, Tess, what can we do? Who should we be talking to if we think something isn't right?
Lots of different people, actually. So for kids, it gets a little more complicated, right? It depends on who the perpetrator is, but I and my co-director will say, you keep telling until someone listens, right? Because a lot of time when the kid first tells, they don't always get the right response. And so we would recommend reporting to DCF, calling the police if a kid should tell, their teacher, their counselor, anybody that they can get to listen. because we want to make sure that those kids are getting help immediately.
Absolutely. It's so very important. Tess, thank you, first of all, for sharing your very personal story along with the information. Kathy, thank you for all you do
Thank
as
you.
well. All these resources will be put on WIBW.com. Thanks again, ladies.
Thank you.